All right, this is where we start. One person has been arrested in connection with the fire on Table Mountain, and authorities are actively looking for two more suspects. A case of arson has been opened. The fire has flared up again this afternoon, fanned by strong winds. Let's get the latest this evening now from Mariska Botha. She is there on just the slopes of Table Mountain. A very good evening to you, Mariska. Thanks indeed for your time this evening. So we understand at a briefing earlier, the fire manager for Table Mountain indicating it will take about a week to get the fire completely extinguished. We are hearing of flare-ups as well where you are now. What's the latest there?
Good evening to you, Griselda, and to our viewers, of course. Yes, indeed, you are absolutely correct. Those flare-ups, we're sitting right here on the slopes of Table Mountain, as you said, in Deer Park at the top end of Vredehoek, where a flare-up is being monitored as we speak. The southeasterly wind is wreaking havoc, making it unbelievably difficult for firefighters to get that fire under control. It seemed to be under control a little bit earlier today, but of course there's just no telling what will happen with the southeaster. But to talk to us a little bit more about what they face in the field, we have the spokesperson for Working on Fire, Limakatso Khalianyane. Limakatso, thank you very, very much for joining us. First of all, just talk to us, how many people of Working on Fire have been deployed and are actively fighting this fire at the moment?
Well, thank you so much for having me this evening. We have about 115 firefighters that are actively fighting this fire. They are strategically placed within different parts of the Table Mountain and other areas where the fire is currently raging. Not only firefighters that we also have 2 fire trucks, we have 2 SUs. We also have aerial resources that are on standby to be able to assist when required. What I can tell you is that from yesterday when this fire broke out, we were able to fly for 37 hours, dropping more than 400,000 liters of water. We were able to see progress there because we were able to see some of the raging blazes going out, like being extremely or being fully extinguished at that particular moment, especially if I can give you an example at the area behind the Grooteske Hospital where the wind was blowing, everything was just getting out of hand, but our aerial resources, we have 4 choppers and a spotter that were able to put those flames out.
Unfortunately today the wind is too strong, that aerial support cannot fly. And you were telling me about a harrowing moment for you earlier today, talking about those flare-ups and how quickly it happens. Tell us about that. What happened with you? You were on the slopes of the mountain yourself.
Earlier today, I was on the slopes of the Table Mountain where we are just on the other side above Newlands. I was working there with our firefighters from False Bay team. It was just a normal, just observing, just making sure there aren't any flare-ups that would take place, and within a split of a second there was a huge blaze in front of us and the wind was blowing the blaze towards the firefighters. They had to run for their lives. Luckily through our training, the training that the guys have received, they were able to find an escape route and were able to escape without any injuries, and they identify an area, a safe area where they can be able to fight that particular fire, and they were able to attack it from another direction.
That's absolutely miraculous, and we're very glad that nobody got hurt in that instance. But talk to us what goes through your mind when you're up there. Yes, you fight fires, it's a passion, it's a calling, but still, fear must be part of it. What is it like when a situation like that erupts?
I speak on behalf of my colleagues who are firefighters because I was only there as a communications person, but at that moment I could just imagine what goes through their mind whenever something like that happens, because they go and fight some of these big fires. I could see fear. Definitely fear was there, but because of the training they got, they were able to, to identify a quick escape route to say this is where we need to be in order for us to be able to survive. Also, going up to that particular location was a struggle because the area, there isn't a path going up there, but we could see the flame, and then the flame had to be from a distance we could see smoke, that there's something building up, and then that had to be put out. We had to find our way up there due to the wind that constantly changes direction. You will never know if it will change and suddenly come towards you. So it's a bit scary, but I know our firefighters. I've had interviews with them. They are very passionate. They get very excited when they have to go and fight these fires. They are very passionate about saving lives. They are very passionate about protecting the environment.
We thank you for that service that you render. Limakatso, just to get a sense from you, are there still road closures? Are there still no-go areas in Cape Town that people should avoid at this point in time? And do you know of any private property that has perhaps been damaged as a result of the fire? We know about UCT, we know about Mostert. Can you just talk to us about that? Road closures, maybe areas that people should avoid still at this stage, and any private property that was damaged?
Well, at this moment, the only road closure that I can talk about is the one that I used when I was coming this out. I was coming from the Newlands area. I can tell you that the M3, the parts of the M3 is closed to traffic. Only emergency vehicles are allowed to move in that area. Earlier this morning, I was part of the IC. There was quite a lot of roads within that areas that had been closed, but unfortunately I can't give you the particular names of the roads at the moment. When it comes to properties that were destroyed, also in that regard, I can't give you exactly what properties were destroyed, but we all know that UCT was destroyed. We are very happy as working on fire to put it out there that our chopper had dropped 15,000 liters of water to put out the blaze that was raging in that area at the UCT. So we are very proud to have been able to save whatever that is left there and be able to save lives and some of the property in that area.
Thank you very much. Limakatso Khalianyane talking to us from Working on Fire, explaining to us what it takes to be out in the field and the difficulties they face in fighting a fire like this. It's completely unpredictable and will most probably still burn for the rest of the week.
Well, that's right, Mariska. Before we let you go, we also heard a bit earlier on, as Limakatso was explaining, there are over 100 firefighters on the ground, but the wind is making it very difficult to fight this fire from the air. How difficult has it made this operation?
Extremely difficult, because there's simply no predicting what will happen. If the wind blows at a certain strength, the pilots, as much as they want to go up, and believe me, they do want to go up, they simply can't. It's too dangerous, the smoke is too thick, and there's simply nothing you can do about it. But on the ground as well, you must remember, you are engulfed and surrounded by immense heat. Fires create their own wind, their own turbulence, if you will. There's smoke everywhere. Because they're fighting this fire on Table Mountain, there's loose rocks everywhere. You have to go up a mountain to fight it. We carried on up the mountain a little while ago and I nearly collapsed, and it was about 20 meters I had to walk, and these firefighters do it with gears on their backs. So it's an immensely difficult job, and the circumstances with the wind and the hot weather makes it very, very difficult to contain a fire like this.
Mariska, thank you very much indeed, doing some great work out there with the rest of our colleagues. And Mariska Botha, thank you very much indeed for joining us on The Full View.